And yeah, it's Tuesday. Welcome to Stitched Up Weekly. This is episode 7. I think we're on 7 now. Yeah, didn't film anything yesterday. Those of you that have been watching my community tab will probably understand why. Anyway, I don't want to really go into it, but anyway, that's that. So yeah, today's Tuesday. I've come home early today because on top of everything else, the local village is flooding at the minute. Yeah, we had some, our house is okay, and I think our house will be okay. Fortunately, we live about a mile from the River Aire, and yeah, it's not going to reach as far as us, I don't think, fingers crossed. But yeah, the village has flooded. The Aire has broke its banks today, which has caused a lot of devastation in the village. There is like a car garage, you know, like a second-hand car dealer, and a lot of it was moving all the cars, but a lot of them are underwater currently. So, you know, this is happening all over the UK at the minute. We are a land of rivers. We have a lot of rivers in the UK. We have a chronic housing shortage, and consequently, you know, we're densely populated, and they keep building houses on floodplains, and this is the result. Climate change has a massive impact, as we know, but you know, when there's becoming more and more little land for runoff, when the rain hits as it does, you know, it's got to go somewhere, hasn't it? So, and this is the impact of that. So yeah, so we've got, you know, it's tough times at the minute, isn't it? But as I say, we're very fortunate so far that we've not been affected, but some of the surrounding roads are currently cut off. We are going away in a couple of days. Me and Martin I think I mentioned it last week, we're going away. We need a break, we really do need a break. But yeah, we're going away for a couple of days, and I'm wondering at the minute if we're actually going to be able to get out of the village with the way things are. I don't know if we've got any more heavy rain predicted, but yeah, we'll see what happens there, won't we? So anyway, yeah, so it's Tuesday. I'm home from work early. We're just getting on with tea. I've had another fabric delivery, but I've just thrown it in the wash, so I can't show you it, so I'll have to wait while that comes out. And I'm loving my hair still. I washed it this morning, and I've got one of those Dyson Airwrap things. They were quite expensive, they're very expensive, but my friend got one. I honestly was not interested in getting one, but my friend got one, and her hair was so amazing. She says, honestly, they're amazing, worth the money. So I thought, right, I'm going to get one, and I'm really pleased with it. This is not tongued at all. I mean, obviously, you know, these are hair extensions, but they are straight hair extensions, and I have just dried them with the Airwrap thingy, and it just whizzes it round. It's very clever, actually. Next time I do it, I'll show you and see, so you can see what you think. But yeah, it's great. So I'm really pleased with how that's looking. So I think they look quite nice, don't they? Anyway, right, I'm not sure what I'm going to do this evening. My head is a bit all over the place at the minute. I've got a busy day tomorrow. I'm not working tomorrow. I'm actually on leave from my employed job this week, but I'd agreed that I'd do a couple of locum shifts Monday, Tuesday, which is what I've done. So I'm off tomorrow, and then we're going away Thursday evening. So tomorrow I've got a really busy day. What have I got on tomorrow? Oh yes, we've got to take my car in to get that repaired. That's going in tomorrow, and they'll need it for the rest of the week. So yes, that's going to get repaired. I have also got an appointment at another GP practice in the afternoon because I'm thinking about moving. I won't go into reasons why, but it's a lovely practice where I am now, don't get me wrong. The staff are really, really lovely, but there's been a couple of things happen which obviously I don't really want to go into on social media about, and this other practice is closer to my home. It's literally a 5-minute drive up the road, so I'm going to have a chat with them. I'm not making any decisions, any rash decisions just yet, but I am, yeah, going to have a look tomorrow and have a chat with them, and we'll see. We've arranged for electrician to come on Monday to have a look at what we need regarding the electrics in the kitchen. There's a few things we need doing, like new lighting putting in, etc. A few sockets moving, boring, stuff like that. So that's been arranged. And yeah, I'm looking at what I'm going to make next. Oh, let me show you my sewing room. Hubby went yesterday. Do you remember the chair that was in my conservatory? Oh, I've gone a bit out of focus there. Right, so you may remember in the conservatory we had this chair. We've decided to move this up to here. So I already got clothes slung over it. Yeah, the reason for that is because we actually bought another chair. When we were in IKEA the other day, I saw a lovely chair that I wanted for in here. Hubby went and bought that yesterday while I was at work. However, it's too big for here. So we've actually put that one in the conservatory, which the cat has claimed. And we've brought this one up here. And I think it goes quite well in the bedroom. So, oh, I've gone out of focus. There we go. Yeah, so that looks better there. I did want like a chair there really. So moving on into my sewing room, we've bought another shelf as well. So if you remember, I've got the shelf there that hubby's put up, and he's going to put me another one up along there as well. He bought me some more of these little magazine file holder things, so I've obviously put some more of my PDF patterns in there. I've still got a load there, but these are patterns that I don't use as much, and I'm not sure whether to keep them or to just get rid. Obviously I've still got them in digital format, so I can print them off if I need to, but there's a number of patterns there that, you know, the ones that you print out thinking, oh, I'll make that one day, and then I never have, and some of these are really old. And I'm not sure what to do, so I think they're just taking up space, and if I'm not going to use them, is there any point keeping them in paper format? Oh, I don't know. What do you guys do? Let me know what you do if you have any patterns that, you know, you've printed off and never got around to making, and think realistically, are you ever going to make them, and are they just taking up space? So yeah, not sure what to do about that. I've been hunting through my patterns looking at what I'm going to make next, and I have picked up the Mayflower. It's not the Mayflower, it's the Mayfair, the Nina Lee Mayfair. Had this pattern a while now, and I was looking for some fabric, and it's a jersey dress, and I've got this gorgeous fabric from my stash. I think this was originally from Colville. Now it's quite drapey, but I think the Mayfair needs that, and obviously it's really summery, isn't it? But I'm really wanting to make some sort of summer makes, spring summer makes. Oops, I've just dropped that on the floor. So yeah, so I think I'm going to have a go at tracing that off tonight and maybe getting that cut out. And the other one that I've picked out of my stash as well is McCall's M6083, which is this one here. This one's out of print now, but I've made the pink jumpsuit there. I've made that before in black, and it's lovely. It's really nice. Very easy make, and really nice to wear. So I'm thinking about, again, this is a jersey jumpsuit, so you know, it's suitable for sort of your thinner, well, I suppose even your thicker jersey fabrics. I can't read it because the writing's so small and it's a bit dark in here now, but I think I'm gonna probably make one of those for spring as well, because I've got, you know, just a little bit of fabric, haven't I? So I need to start using it a bit more, don't I? So yeah, so that's that. Right, I'm going to go finish my coffee, and we'll get this pattern traced out. What's that? What did you say?
He's walking that railway line.
Just look at that.
They're still good, aren't they? Say that one, so it's back up.
Is it still coming up? It's just unbelievable. Good morning, it's Wednesday, and yeah, we're up bright and early this morning. Developments overnight. Some of you might have seen it on the news. Oh gosh, yeah, okay. and yeah, parts of our area are all underwater when the river burst yesterday. We are where we live. Fortunately, last night we were dry, but we've been told the high tide is due at 9 o'clock this morning, and they're going to try and flood a farm that's at the top of our road to try and save our houses. Not sure if that's going to work, but we shall see, won't we? So we've just come out to monitor it ourselves so that we've got time to move things if we need to, because quite often in these situations, anecdotally, we've heard that people get a 5-minute warning, and that's not enough, is it, to move things upstairs. So I'm on the track where I come running at the minute, which is just at the bottom of our road, and I'm going to turn the camera around so you can see how far the floodwaters have come at the minute. The last high tide was 10 o'clock last night, so obviously the waters have receded a little bit, but they are probably about, how far would you say they are from the houses? The water at the minute, 300 metres?
Yeah.
About 300 metres from the houses.
A good quarter of half a mile from the riverbank.
Yeah.
So the water has travelled.
So this is the track, you probably recognise the track from me running on it, and there's the water from the river, and this is low tide. The start of the houses, this isn't the houses where we live, but the start of the houses are obviously just there, and we live over the road. Yeah, so the farm, the planning to flood is, you can't see it, but it's, sorry, it's just sort of there. But the river from here is, because I run up this way a lot, is normally a good, I don't know, 3/4 of a mile from here. So it's coming a long way. I mean, here is the solar farm, and you can just see the water that's come from the river just behind it there. So we're just going to carry on walking as far as we can. Oh my word, yeah, it's breached over the railway.
Actually, there's a culvert under the railway line that's
Yeah.
opened up.
This is the other thing, there's a culvert. I'm just repeating what he's just said. I think Environment Agency are down here monitoring this situation at the minute, but yeah, it's definitely breached over the railway and into the fields currently, so worrying times. I'm not at work today. I've never seen this. We've lived here 12 years, and I've lived in the local area since I was 2 years old. So we're talking 45 years, and this is just unprecedented, totally unprecedented. This here now should be just a field. As I say, I run this way all the time, and it's just a lake, and this is low tide. The railway, you can just see, that's the railway line there that I cross. And the river is a good half mile beyond that, so it's really coming far. Right, so we're back home, and while we are rapidly becoming an island, I am going to keep calm and carry on sewing. Yeah, there's not a lot going on out there at the minute. Obviously you've seen the video that I took this morning, and yeah, it's pretty strange, I'll say. And Martin is going to put the other shelf up for me in the sewing room, and I'm going to get this finished. And I'm going to get the buttons on and the button stand done. And I have decided that I'm going to go through my other PDFs. I am going to get rid of the ones that I know that I am never going to make, and that's probably quite wasteful. I appreciate that, but also on the other side of it, it's taking up valuable space in my sewing room. And so yeah, I'm going to go through those. I've still got the digital files, so at some point in the future, if I ever want to make them, I can do. And the paper will be reused for something, I don't know what. I might use it to light the fire for over winter or whatever, but yeah, I'm going to do that and create some space on the shelf. And then yeah, hubby has just gone to go get some more screws from our local little DIY shop just down the road, and then he's going to get this other shelf up for me. I am this afternoon going to the other GP practice to have a look round, and then yeah, I've got the rest of the day to hopefully do some sewing if things don't change. I think we've made the decision that we're not going to go away. I think in the circumstances with the way things are at the minute, this flooding is not, you know, those of you that have ever experienced anything like this before, I guess we are learning for the first time just how it affects people and how things sort of play themselves out. And flooding is not something that happens just like that and then it's finished with and over. It's sort of a progressive thing, especially when you live near a tidal river like we do. And so although, you know, we had some devastating floods here last night and we've had a high tide this morning and that's now subsided and we're still okay, you know, the way things are planning to play out over the next few days doesn't mean that the risk has gone. You know, it's still high risk and things could change. We are sort of literally hour to hour at the minute waiting to hear from the Environment Agency and figure out what's going on. So I don't feel comfortable not just leaving the house but also leaving my son alone. I know my dad has said he can go stay with him, but my son will want to be at home with his own computer because he's physically attached to it as much as possible. So I just wouldn't feel comfortable. I don't think we'd feel settled being away from home, knowing he's at home and potentially having to face flooding very locally. So I think we are reluctantly and very sadly making the decision that we're not going to go away. It's very sad because, you know, we're probably going to lose the money. We are going to ring the place we were planning to stay at to see if they will postpone it for us. I think it's probably doubtful, but on top of that, I was just looking forward to a break. You know, there's been a lot of things going off, some this week, etc. And you know, I don't get a lot of time off from work, and the plan was, you know, to just go and have a couple of days away, just the two of us. We've not done that for years and it would have been really lovely, but you know, it is what it is and we can't change that, and I'm sure we'll be able to look at it at some point in the near future when things are different. So anyway, right, I am going to quickly get on at doing some buttonholes before hubby gets back, and we'll get this shirt dress finished. Nothing like playing thread checking, is there? Anyway, I have got all my buttonholes done. They've all come out really nice. I don't have much of that thread left and I still need to hem this. So I think what I'm going to do is use what I've got left for the hemming, and I will use a slightly different colour just to sew the buttons on. But first I need to cut my buttonholes. I hate this bit, absolutely hate it. This is where I usually end up slicing into the fabric, and with this fabric being so fine, I'm really worried I'm going to do that. Anyway, I'm not doing that on camera, as I'm sure you can understand, so let's get it done. So it's now Wednesday evening. We've just dropped our cars off at my dad's house because we've we've now been put on high alert where we live because the other rivers behind our house, that's sort of behind the motorway, have got a major flood warning on, so that's just to complicate matters even further. So they're anticipating that areas of our little hamlet are going to flood. I don't know if I mentioned it earlier, I think the army were supposed to be coming in, but there's loads of rumours going around, so we've just no idea, to be honest, what's going on. But we've just been told they've delivered 500 sandbags to our little area, so we're going back now to help distribute and try and shore up those of our neighbours' houses that are most at risk. Do our little bit. So yeah, we'll see how things pan out. We've moved lots of our things upstairs as much as we can, because we don't know what's going to happen overnight. We've got another high tide due at 10 o'clock tonight, so
we're expecting another metre of water.
Oh great, yeah, so who knows what's going to happen, but it's just devastating really, seeing the area that you love and people's livelihoods and homes just devastated. It's not nice. Right, I've just got back. It's now, God, I don't even know what time it is, about 8:30 at night, I think. We've been distributing sandbags locally and supporting the community as much as we can. The Environment Agency, we're in like a little hamlet. It's like a little island surrounded by fields. So there's two streets, and there's our street and the street behind us. And the Environment Agency are currently on the street behind us with big lorries. Police are there, council are there, distributing sandbags and information. There are some people that are already evacuated from our street. We've discovered that they are planning to deliberately flood us here to save two neighbouring villages that have businesses and things. As I say, we're in a little hamlet here, which is understandable but really hard to stomach, I'll be honest. You know, it's one thing being flooded as an act of nature, but when you're deliberately being sacrificed to save somewhere else, that's hard. So anyway, yeah, my husband, Martin is still out there helping with the effort to distribute sandbags. Hopefully they'll be around to us when they've been around the lane out the back, and will come to us and we'll get some as well. And then I'm just going to look around what else we've got downstairs, what we can move upstairs. It's just, you know, difficult. It's been a really difficult week. In the dining room, I mean, obviously we've got the piano, we can't do anything about that. I've got all my knitting stuff, but to be honest, I don't care about knitting stuff right now. We've got loads of things on the dining room table that we've put stuff, and there's other bits and pieces that I think we can probably move, but the main electrical things are all upstairs now. Obviously in the living room here we've got the TV, which we'll probably move upstairs before we go to bed later, because this is going to be happening overnight, so you know, we don't know what we're going to wake up to in the morning. And we've got some important things in some of these cupboards in the room which we're going to have to try and move upstairs, I think. But yeah, it's a little bit surreal, I think is the word. It's really surreal. You know, this is my home, this is my safe space, and it's yeah. So we've just come across the road from where we live. You might just see the solar panels there. Obviously I normally go running down that track, and the water is now, there's like a little, I don't know if you can see it, but there's like a little flood bank just there that was built a few years ago to protect our village. And if we just look over there, the water is now flowing over it. Yeah, it's just filled all this field here, which is right next to the road. So the road is just here. And the water is obviously right next to it now, so it's just really quite scary. So this is Turnbridge. Where's it going?
It's just flowing into the pool,
yeah.
into the ditch.
So you won't.
Yeah, it is, yeah. Yeah, that's what Ivan said when he'd been up. He said it was flowing really fast. You know, for me, Doncaster got it when it flooded there recently, and they said about River Don, and they just said there's fish in river that haven't been there for so long, we're not going to dredge it, it'll kill them.
Yeah.
Yeah, going out towards Strawberry, yeah.
I mean, I know it sounds daft. I'm a fisherman, but
Lidgate,
Yeah.
railway
Yeah.
thingy over, all the way down back towards Snape. It just looked like a massive lake.
well, we went round yesterday, like I said, didn't we, over the railway line, and back in that way, and it was like that then.
Right, this really isn't a lake. This is called the Peppered Pig, which is a gorgeous little restaurant that's where we live, and this is a field. But now we have a lake. You can hear the helicopters in the background, and yeah, the road is just there. What they're doing is they are diverting the water over the road into the field over there. As to how long that will work for, because they've got a pump doing it at the minute, but it's under a lot of pressure. If that goes, then we're in big trouble. You can just see the water just there. But just over the bridge back into the village here where we live, The water is coming out from the field just behind this house here onto the road now, so I think they're going to be closing this pretty soon. And now this water all from this field is now over the road. Traffic's struggling to get through it, so I think they're going to be looking at shutting it shortly again, and then we'll be cut off again. Right, so you might remember this from yesterday. This is like the end of the houses where I come running through, and now this is all, obviously the water is just encroaching further. You can see that that's as far as we can get now, whereas yesterday, I'll try and keep the camera still, yesterday we were able to get right up past the bales, and now the water is right up here. So it's a lot worse than it was yesterday. There must be a culvert there then, because...
Well, there must be. Because, well, you think about it as well, if they're going to
pump it into the Don, they need to get it.
Look at it running. See this? The speed it's running at.
It's just phenomenal.
Look at this.
It's like a weir.
It is like a weir. That is moving quick, isn't it? That's filling up quick, is that?
Yeah, very quick.
Bloody hell.
Considering they were saying that the water levels were sort of easing off earlier and everything, this is just...
That's filling up quick. It doesn't look it when you look at it like
no,
that.
it just looks quite like a mill pondish, doesn't it? But
that shows you it's moving quick. It's moving quite quickly.
right, so I am just trying to get into my sewing room right now. I've decided that, you know, there's nothing we can do with what's going on out there, and I need to just try and have some normality. Obviously I've not gone to work today. I was due to go for a locum shift, but I haven't gone with the situation as it is. They've now closed the road. At the top of our road the river has breached and it's across, so hopefully it's flowing into the fields behind us rather than hitting us. We can only hope and pray for that. But my house is upside down, and I think at the minute we're not in any imminent danger, so I'm just going to try and get on with a few bits and try and have a bit of normality, I guess. So my sewing room is a tip. Let me just turn it round and show you. Yesterday we did get the other shelf put up yesterday, so I'm pleased with how they're looking. And but we've had to move lots of stuff upstairs, so there's computer bits and all sorts of crap. These are bags of shoes out of our shoe cupboard downstairs that we've moved up here. We've got a few bits in our bedroom as well. Downstairs I've just hoovered round actually, which, you know, is a bit ironic, isn't it? Thinking if we end up flooding, well, I need to be bothering with hoovering, but we've just got to carry on pretending that we won't flood. We won't flood, we'll be fine. Anyway, yeah, we've got all stuff all out. I'm back in my dining room at the minute and there's stuff all over the table and things. We've emptied the cupboard in the bottom of the dining room unit there, because that had got lots of like insurance documents and all that kind of stuff, really important stuff that we do need to know where it is. So we've moved all that. Still some stuff all on the table as well. There's bits all over, it's just a tip. But I've managed to sort of create a little bit of room on my table. I think I showed you this fabric the other night, didn't I? That I was going to have a go at the Mayfair dress. So that's here. So I am going to, at the very least, trace the pattern out. Yeah, my brother, who lives in York, is coming through to my dad's. They're having to do a massive detour to get through though, because two of the roads, well, where we live, there's two roads. There's one road in and out, that's it, and that's now closed. But I think I've shown you previously Cowick Hall, which is that big, you know, the big stately home, which is Croda International's headquarters, that is literally a few steps from our house, and they've got a massive drive that is normally closed off, but they've opened it up to our village so that we have a route through, which is really kind of them. So so we can get through that way. So my brother is coming over to take my dad, who's obviously in the next village to us, take him to do a bit of shopping. And he's kindly sort of rung me and said, look, if there's anything you guys need. So I've done him a little list, but we're not too bad at the minute, actually, because I mean, we don't know how long this situation's going to go on for, but you know, because it really is hour by hour currently, especially in our vicinity. But yeah, there's a few bits, but we are actually not too bad. I mean, my husband did go shopping a couple of days ago to get a few bits for Isaac, with us going away, but obviously we're not going away now, because we should have been going today, and obviously we've had to just cancel that, so that's that. But it does mean that we've got a few more bits in the house than we would have had, so we're not too bad. Right, so I'm going to get this pattern traced off, and hopefully get a little bit of sewing done if I can make some room in my sewing room to get to my sewing machine. So we'll see how we get on. Right, I am absolutely shattered. It is 6 o'clock, 6:30 at night. We've been all day helping our neighbours at the back of our house, that street along the back, because it's just a scene of absolute despair and desolation. I can't get over what we're experiencing here. The flood waters have been allowed to, well, the roads are closed now, there's only one route through, but the road outside our house is totally blocked off because of flood water. It's just pouring still across the fields. All the fields surrounding us now are getting full, and it's spilling out into the road behind us. It's coming up through the drains as well, and we've spent the entire day trying to keep it at bay with what we've had, brushes. I managed to get in touch with our MP, and he got in touch with the council that brought us some sandbags, because they've been concentrating on the village next to us that's a mile away, because that's bigger, but we've just been left to our own devices, and it's been frustrating. So we are all shattered, absolutely shattered, and we do think that the houses behind us are going to flood tonight. Yeah, you know, we're fighting nature here, aren't we? And there's not a lot we can do about that. Martin has just gone to the fish and chip shop. We haven't had tea and we need to get something to eat, but I can't be bothered to cook. He can't be bothered to cook. We're just exhausted and so cold. We are, Martin's going to be on TV tomorrow night. The news crews have been here all day, and they've interviewed a couple of our neighbours. It's just been on calendar news tonight, and they did ask Martin if he would be, because they're going to be back tomorrow, if he'll be happy to be interviewed, and I know he is, so he's probably going to be on TV tomorrow night. So we'll see what tomorrow brings, we'll see what overnight brings, but this is just never ending. We've now heard that there's going to be a big storm coming again this weekend that's going to start tomorrow at some point. I don't know what impact that's going to have on us. There's nothing we can do. I never thought that we would experience this here. It's, you know, this is the place I grew up in, and I've never experienced anything like this. Okay, so that's my last update for today. I haven't got any sewing done this week. It's the furthest thing from my mind right now, as I'm sure you can imagine. We're just battling to save our village and save our homes right now. So there's that. can see behind me, we're all upside down. I'm in the house at the minute, things are still dry. The conservatory is now totally blocked off. We've got sandbags down there. The dining room is in there and has been emptied. The water is in our garden completely and is lapping at the side of the conservatory, so we're just waiting for it to breach. We've been told we've got another 4 days of flooding here. It's not raining at the minute. It has been raining this morning, but we are expecting this storm Jorge later, which is going to cause us problems. I don't know if you can see out there in the garden. I don't know how much of this you can see, but the water is there. You can see the sandbags just there, and the sandbags, and I think you might just be able to make out that my garden is like a lake. So that's where we are. But you know, the whole community, I have lived here 12 years and there's a lot of people in the village that I didn't even know, and we're like best friends now. It's amazing how we've all come together to support each other and do whatever we can to protect each other's houses. A lot of my friends and neighbours have lost their houses now, under 3 or 4 foot of water, but we're very lucky at the minute that it's just, we've lost things in the garden. The summer house is gone now. The sheds with their contents have had it. But fortunately, touch wood, so far, the house is still fairly dry. I've got my piano in the kitchen at the minute. Everything else is upstairs. We've got all the utilities are switched off. We can't do anything else really. So we're just bobbing back every now and again just to have a quick look, but we're still helping out in the village because the other side of the village is flooding badly at the minute. So we're just helping with sandbags there. And doing what we can. I'm just coming around into our back garden at the minute. It's so nice to see some sunshine. We've got sandbags all along our extension here. Obviously this is where the water is at the side of our house now, that's right against the wall of the conservatory that's going to be in soon. There's not much more we can do to prevent this. The garden, this is where we're at with the garden. It's not come up above the lip of the patio there yet, but you can just see Martin there with his waders on, but it's fairly deep.
Can I just say that I am proud of the people in the village where I live, because the sense of community that I've seen these last few days is incredible. It's the best of British. We all complain about things, but the people in this village are a credit to this country because the spirit is incredible, and I am proud to be one of them.
Well said, Martin. So down, I mean, all these houses along here at the side of us, they're all underwater now. They've lost everything, obviously, of these families. That house there is as well underwater, and we're just waiting for it to encroach on ours. You know, pardon?
You've got the big tent, you can go into the office.
We've got time, love, haven't we? We can leave it for now. So yeah, so this is the situation where we are. There's our oil tank there. The bad thing at the back now, the water level there is up to about 5 foot. But the problem is as well that where we live, we don't have gas. We have oil, that's our oil tanker. We don't have gas in this village, and everybody's oil tanks down the back have leaked, so there's oil. We've got oil floating in the water here, but it's floating in this water everywhere, and essentially when we're at the top of the street right up there, the stink of oil is just overpowering. It's unbelievable. Yeah, so that's the situation as we are Saturday morning. As I say, it rained heavy first thing this morning, but it's holding off now, and we are going to be heading up to the other side of the main road to support the guys up there because they're flooding badly at the minute. We've got the police here at the top. My friend's house, I'll show you hers in a second, who lives just a few doors away from me. She's devastated. Yeah, I mean, you can probably just see down there the water. That's the view onto the lane there. It's just It's just awful. And then this is my friend's house that we're just coming up to now, and that's the water on her drive now. And yeah, she's got a lake there. Her house is totally flooded. She's just utterly devastated. I met her for a drink last night. She's staying in the next village in the pub. I met her for a drink last night, and she's just distraught. She's lost so much, things that she can't replace.